The sellers aren't willing to sell anymore at the same price, but if the price goes up, they're willing to sell more. And I'll give you a final side of this. If we imagine the price didn't change, what's there going to be? Is there going to be, and I'm going to ask Gabby and Justin, if the price didn't change, is there going to be excess demand or excess supply? Just look at them.
Excess, I think, supply.
Okay. So this is the old price and the old supply and demand. So let me draw the new supply and demand with this. Okay. So the old supply and demand is here. The new supply and demand is this one and that one. Okay. So I'm gonna how do I hide things? Okay, the income is going up. That's what's driving the demand shift. And if the price didn't change, if the sellers of vacation packages were a little dumb at first, then is there going to be excess demand or excess supply? Which one's quantity demanded? The right one or the left one? Or pass. You can pass.
Wait, so,
What is it?
yeah, I'm confused. You're saying that it's supply, wait, the price that the travel agencies or whatever are selling it stays the same? That's what you're saying?
Suppose for a second, only a second because it's dumb and they're going to change it, that the price didn't change. Suppose the price was, the equilibrium price was $1,000, and after the shift in incomes, they still sold them for $1,000.
So it would be demand, right?
So they're going to see excess demand. They're going to see a bunch more people who want it. They're going to be a shortage of vacation packages.
Right.
And then they're going to move up. They're going to raise the price and have that process. So you got to weave in like an, go back in slides to the getting to equilibrium and use that here. Do.
Is this demand curve up or to the right?
You can call it to the right or up. It is both. So up or and right. We're just describing the point. If I wanted to ask you in a very clear way, I would say, given the same price, is it a higher quantity demanded, less quantity demanded, or the same quantity demanded? And then it's very obvious. Or I say, for the same quantity of good, is it a higher willingness to pay or a lower willingness to pay? And then it's crystal clear. If I just ask for directions, up and right are the same, except for the concept check that I showed you where only one made sense. I see faces of comprehension and stuff churning, so I like that. But if it's faces of confusion, look very similar, please ask a question like you did. Okay. So we're going to breeze through these quite quickly, and I'm just going to, so this is that was slide 64, this is slide 65. Rise in price of buses, trains, and airfares to Manhattan. Hotels in Manhattan is the good we're looking for. So we're not talking about buses, trains, and airfare, people going on buses, trains, and airlines, but how does this affect hotels in Manhattan? So you have to think through that list. Let's go over here. So maybe Brett, Nick, and Rich. One of you pick demand or supply.
I think that it's not drastically going to change, but I think the demand is going to decrease.
Okay. Decrease
because they have less money to spend on the hotel because they're spending more.
So the key word here is complement, or peanut butter and jelly. Okay. Peanut butter and jelly. They go together like peanut butter. Airfare, travel to Manhattan goes with hotels. So there's going to be a shift to the left of demand. That's what I heard you say, Brian.
Yeah.
Okay. So now Ridge and Nick, you get supply. One of you. Does it change? Does it go up, down? Stays the same. Good. People behind you agree. Stays the same. Good. So this is S prime. Okay. This is the old one. This is the new one. And does anyone need me to? Well, the quantity goes down. The price goes up. Good. Next one. Complementary goods demand shifts up. Next one. Increasing corporate spending, business travel. Let's go for the ladies in row 2 and Megan all together. So that's slide 66. So the market is business travel, corporate spending goes up. Is that going to change the supply or demand curve, neither or both? So just pick one at first. If you try to jump to the answer, oh, there's got to be some intuition. No, just pick a point. At the same price, or more buyers, less buyers, or same amount? Okay. And if it exactly increases demand if at the same price more people, more business travel is done. Yeah, that makes sense. Corporate spending and travel is done. Okay. If the price that is being charged by the business travel, we're just using that as a generic good, doesn't change, is this going to go to the right or to the left on the supply curve? The demand did shift, that's correct, and now we have to ask the supply shift.
Okay.
Why wouldn't shift? Because the viewpoint of the supplier is not changing. If the price is the same, they're still willing to change it. Nothing of their input prices, nothing of the other things they can produce. The viewpoint of the seller has not changed at the same price. So S prime, and then we have a new dollar. Yeah, Justin?
So like in this case, like the supplier would be like a hotel or something like
A
that?
hotel or an airline, if the price didn't change, they're not going to run any more flights.
Right.
The hotel price doesn't change, they're not going to try to squeeze in more people or open up a wing that was closed before. Good. Okay. Corporate incomes, demand shifts to the right, and then you get the consequent equilibrium shift. Increase in the price of jet fuel for air travel. Okay, I'm going to go DJ, Duke, all the way to, is it Max? Yes. Great. All the way to Max. Okay, anyone can pick one. Supply stays the same. Okay? I heard two people say that. Okay?
But why does it stay the same
It's an input.
You want him to go
Good.
last?
Why does it stay the same? I just wrote down what you said. Okay. Supply doesn't stay the same. Good. Okay? Great job, Monica. Okay? Because you were actually thinking of the story. You weren't thinking, oh, I'm just going to remember. And someone who is willing to fly the plane before at $200 now is not going to be willing to fly it at $200 if the price of jet fuel triples. You know, it might not triple their willingness to accept because there's other things, but it's definitely going to be their costs have gone up. So in this case, I like to think of that point going up, and so that's prime. You could also say at that same price, some people aren't going to be willing to fly. Then you think to the left. Okay. Demand, is that going to shift? Do people care about the price of jet fuel, or do they just care about the price of the plane flight? The air travel. Okay, so that hint tells you that demand goes up, right? Down?
Stays the same.
Stays the same. Stays the same. You're shaky, just write somewhere on your paper that's shaky. Go to an office hours. This is really important. Okay? And so it stays the same, and then you got a different point, and then it shifts over. I'm going to skip the examples because the answer is on here. There's one where if the price of corn changes in the wheat market, it actually does two shifts. One, because people who were planting corn before are now planting wheat are going to now produce corn because corn is more profitable to plant. So on the supplier side, it changes something. On the buyer side, don't think about, on the buyer side, think about Kellogg's cereal. You know, are they going to buy more, if corn is expensive and they can somehow shift from using corn to wheat, the buyers are also going to shift. So you might have two shifts. That's what this looks like. If you have these two shifts, depending on which one's higher or lower, it's going to shift the prices and quantity differently. But the most important stuff is two shifts. I want to get to this at least put in your head this concept check. In a supply and demand framework, the number of sellers goes up, supply will shift to the right, and equilibrium, in equilibrium, each seller will sell more. So I'm gonna, okay, supply, demand, supply, so it's gonna shift, supply S prime, maybe it shifts proportionally, maybe it shifts, changes slope. Well, the price is gonna go down. The price is gonna go down. So the key hint here is, what is individual supply? Does that change? Okay. And if so, depending on, does it change? And then if it doesn't change, or if it does change, when the price goes down, how does that change individual supply? This is one of those things where it's very easy to stand at this and say, oh, each of these statements makes sense. But the actual answer is false. Part of this is true, part of this is false. I'm going to end with this idea. If you're really puzzled and you want to rock it on Thursday, then you can go through the numerical example that I have in there. That's it. Thank you.
So, new sellers entering the market isn't changing.
Anyone who didn't see something I wrote, clean up? They're here.
Yeah, slides so quickly.
Great class, everyone.
Yeah, I mean, we did pretty well.
Lots of
New
learning.
sellers, it shifts to the
Proud of us.
right.